On the outskirts of Corsham, there's a place which was for decades one of Britain's most closely guarded secrets. It's been an aircraft factory, an ammunition depot, and would have been the government's headquarters in the event of a nuclear war. I'm about to head down into a military bunker that's only recently been declassified and still has a secret all of its own. We're going to film these bizarre characters for the first time and bring light to a mysterious subterranean world. But before we uncover those long-lost murals, I'm going to find out more about this rather spooky place. For centuries, miners cut Bath stone from here, but as the Second World War loomed, the government found another use for it.
Deep underground, in miles of storage galleries and tunnels, hundreds of boxes of small arms ammunition are piled in safekeeping.
The quarry soon became the largest ammunition store in the world.
Yes, guns have expensive appetites, and a meal like this represents many violent attacks of indigestion for the Axis.
Entry to the depot was from the eastern end of Box Tunnel. During the Second World War, trains would have entered this bunker from the far end of the tunnel that had drawn up here. Workers would have been stationed specifically to offload the ammunition, over 1,000 tons a day, which would have then been placed on these conveyor belts and sent off to be stored.
To put the shells in, we've got to shell out. And I hope every one of them lands in the middle of the parishes.
As the Luftwaffe stepped up the bombing, the Ministry of Aircraft ordered factories underground.
We take you below ground to look over a subterranean factory.
The Bristol Aircraft Company in Filton sent thousands of workers to this secret city. Wow! Woo! I can't believe we're actually going to find important art down here. It's really very claustrophobic and damp. By the 1950s, this place had been established as a bolt hole for the government in the case of a nuclear attack during the Cold War. There were provisions for, well, thousands of civil servants, the Prime Minister and his cabinet, and possibly even the royal family.
They converted about a third of the whole site into what they called at the time the Emergency Government War Headquarters, which was where government would come to had there been a nuclear war. It was like Whitehall in microcosm.
So sort of Harold Macmillan would have been arriving in a minute?
Yeah, Harold Macmillan, the entire war cabinet, the chiefs of staff, somewhere between 4,000 and 7,000 civil servants would come down as well. And they'd all live underground here. They planned that they could live underground, be completely self-sufficient for about a month. There'd be a huge convoy of coaches that would start out from Horse Guards Parade and bring all the rest of the people down. And they would try to run the country skeletally, but along the same lines as during peacetime.
History moved on, but below ground, time stood still. What's this? You know, for the first time in 6 decades, all is about to be revealed. Extraordinary. I feel incredibly privileged, like I've entered an Aladdin's cave. These murals were painted 63 years ago by Olga Lehmann.
My first feelings when I came down here was really like coming into a prehistoric cave. She's used the same colours as prehistoric man used. What an impossible place for an artist. She couldn't paint on the Bath stone walls. She had to paint on the brickwork. Just 3 colours. She created a whole world.
When the Bristol Aircraft Company commissioned these magical pictures to brighten up the lives of its workers, mural artist Olga Lehmann rose to the challenge. Olga was incredibly versatile. After graduating from the prestigious Slade School of Art in the 30s, she designed backdrops for theatre and then specialised in murals. But she was best known as a set and costume designer for TV and film. She painted the portraits of characters played by Hollywood stars, and among her many film credits were the Guns of Navarone and Tom Thumb. In the 80s, her portraits were seen by millions in the television soap opera, The Colbys.
They had to be rather orthodox painting, all this, not too modern, you see. So I took my cue from old masters, from Gainsborough particularly.
Back underground, walking in and out of the shadows, I found Dennis Williams, who has fond memories of life here during World War II.
The meals were absolutely fabulous, out of this world. This is the mural here, by which I used to sit, and I used to enthuse after it. I used to love every detail of it. In particularly, two chappies there with the hats, shooting off the head. That I found absolutely, well, enchanting. The dining area was over here somewhere. I used to notice that people did look as they dined. You know, they used to glance at the murals and they used to talk amongst themselves, obviously discussing points about the murals. The girls on the machines, they were working away, listening to the music coming out from the speakers and tannoys around the room. Their heads were going with the music, you know, and they were swinging their hips around, singing away, especially when you have people like Frank Sinatra come over the network, you know, or Bing Crosby. Oh, they used to go to town.
Right, darling.
They're under status orders, and they're all.
This lady who's doing a dance, is she the owner of the horse? I suspect she is. That very much looks like the sort of costume that the owner would have worn. The man with the glasses, is looking at her, or is he looking at the horse?
I know, I was wondering what he was focusing on.
I mean, there's a wonderful sort of jokes, and I've got a feeling if you came here every day for your lunch, you would begin to, these things would begin to come through to you.
Let's see the colour of your money then.
Clearly, he doesn't believe what's happening. He's just lost all his money. These two are about to lose all their money. And what a face. Look at it. And look at that amazing check coat, which you'll see in every one of the murals relating to the circus. And in the background, just hinting at the circus tent. I bet somebody was always fancied coming to have their meal and join in the cheat that was taking place just here. She was immensely gifted. She had this extraordinary ability to create an effect with the minimum of hard work. And the minimum of hard work is because she knew exactly what she was doing. She was actually very beautiful, very talented, very gifted. She did everything, like a sort of 20th century Michelangelo.
Well, the Ministry of Defence is currently trying to sell the site, so the future of the murals is actually uncertain, but I'm really hoping they find some way of saving them.